guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure, to find it empty, our cry is steer. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk, I work, I strive. With your blessing, I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Futsa and Niert, Futsa and Chiel, got Bua, got Tolan, got Trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill, each victory, each talent, each trial. Great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Dandusolas, Milatrua, Ahleduline, fade our nights into force. Without your light, we have no guide, but with your hand, our place abide. String the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore, to find it and tear, our greatest deed. By the grace of the goddess we are free, we'll build the land, our hearts within. To walk within your grace, blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, welcome to another episode of PAX Day, The Search for Steel. Let me do some housekeeping here. I think my audio's off a little bit, but it sounds good on everything but YouTube. So I gotta figure that out. So if you hear something bad, I guess, not as I don't know. I'm not gonna say professional because I'm not a professional just yet. But the audio, I'm trying to, it's a continuous fight. Anyway, welcome back. And this is episode 121. And we're still going through education. I thought I would be able to do it in one episode, and that's not a thing. So we are going to talk more about it. We're going into a little bit more of the how to solve the issues of the of education, going into a little bit more ancient philosophy. And I do want to check out one of the upgrades they did for the game, so we'll try that out as well. It's the boundary rubber band, I guess would be the best way of saying it. So we'll figure that out. but I do need to make some glass because I do need to craft for the alchemy, or alchemy. It's the alchemy, but it's alchemy. And to do so, I need plenty of vials. And you have different size vials. So for different grades of alchemy. So little gamification there for those of you who are interested in game mechanics. And that is good to go. Yeah, I have a lot of these. I have to figure out. Oh, there's where all this was. That's all right. We're good. We're gonna hook up some more class while we go and do stuff and talk about education. And hopefully these are the big furnaces, so these are the ones you need for glass and pure glass. The smaller furnaces can do the impure glass, which is good for smaller vials. I think small and tiny. Small and tiny vials are the two in there. Okay, so I'm set up for, right now I'm set up to go chopping wood. I'm trying to think, do I need to chop wood, or where can I take it tonight while we talk about education? Let's see. Not sure. I really didn't think this through tonight of what I was going to do. That is, I don't want to hunt. You know what? I will hunt a little bit anyway. Let's see if I have a bow worthy of actually taking with me. Yeah. And then of course we have the one-handed spear. I should have the 3-dot two-handed spear. Good. And of course, stamina. I don't need that one. Where did I put all my potions? Maybe I'll work on the base. Maybe I put my potions here. Yeah, that's right. And of course, I'll need some arrows. And once I have those, we'll start off on our journey to go. Maybe get some wool. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want more arrows than this. Is this wrought iron? Yeah. Let me do this real quick while we're here. And we'll get started on the education system that we're just recrafting because, let's face it, it doesn't work for us. So, why not retool the whole thing? That's what I'm talking about. All right, so we're kicking it off tonight with Plato, who, if anybody doesn't know of Plato, he's a Greek thinker who was in Athens around 360 BC, excuse me. His dialogue laws, or I should say, in his dialogue laws, he dropped this one quote: "Let your children's lessons take the form of play." Pretty succinct. And I think it's 2,000 years ago plus, right? He wasn't messing around. Play wasn't fluff. It was a sandbox for curiosity. So if you think about it in those terms, then you're looking at, here, let's continue. Picture Greek kids racing in chariots in the dust, figuring out speed, balance, and, without a scroll in sight, right? You didn't learn these from reading scrolls. The physics isn't by accident, right? You're looking at it. You're feeling it. And Plato saw it. Kids explore, they stumble, learn, when it feels like a game. In Republic, he pushed the physical games alongside of math. Train the body, spark the mind. In 2020, history of education pieces back him up, right? 60% of Greek youth were trained through contests. Learning was a sport. And I'll take all of these here. Okay. And we'll go up here and test it. So learning was a spark, right? Or a sport, excuse me. If you look over at ancient China, Confucius around 500 BC, he took a similar approach, but different. In the Analects, he said, I hear and I forget. I see and I do. I understand. He pushed joyful learning, right? And he turned reflection into play. I'm trying to do like multiple things at once. This is where a producer would be awesome. But I'm not that big. Okay. So imagine a kid in Shandong fumbling a brushstroke, laughing, trying it again, mastery through messing around. His vibe was make it stick by making it fun, right? If you look at India's Gurukul system around 1500 BC, I mean, that's well before Confucius and Plato. Students played archery games to hone focus, not just hit targets. In 2019, a Journal of Indian Studies notes play-based tactics or tasks build 40% of their skills, strategy baked into fun. And they did fix it. Okay. I'm looking for this dire wolf over here. Do a little combat. Oh. Really? There we go. Let's see if the dire wolf attacks any differently. Ah. Wanted to do that. There we go. Wow, this thing has a lot of hit points. Really? Alright. That was interesting. Really, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna pretty much try to get maybe leather. Really? My hung bow worse than my other bow? My hung bow should have less accuracy but more power. Not that I need it for stags to be put on this video. Or deer. But that needs to be served. But the accuracy of your bow, low game dynamics here. Well, we're talking about bows in India, play practice, right? It looks like they fixed the rubber banding, which is awesome. I'm glad they were able to troubleshoot that. All right, so the Journal of Indian Studies notes in 2019, by the way, that play-based tasks built 40% of their skills, strategy baked into fun, right? So it's pretty impressive that when we think about these things, we're talking about play reinforcing learned ideas. Interesting. Somebody must have. I'm not sure where though. It's funny, but they put little more sound effects into the forest around you, and it seems like there's something there, and there's not. I'll wait for him to come back. Okay, so in medieval Europe, they think jousting knights here, training through mock battles. A 2021 medieval review pegs it. 70% of knight apprentices learned via game-like drills. Combat was a game with stakes, right? Essentially. I don't know if I described it that. I wrote it down, and now I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I want to describe it like that. Ancient play wasn't random. It was a teacher disguised as good, right? Ah, I let him too much. I hate when I do that. Oh, really? I wonder if the tree got in the way. I could use my skinning brace, but honestly, I don't need to waste brace on this. All right. Just kind of going through this forest. I don't remember. I don't go this way that often, so I don't know where the animals are. I don't think there's anything that can kill me in these forests. Catch me by surprise, yes. Kill me, not unless I am totally, absolutely, and utterly not thinking about it. I think where I am. Okay, I missed some stuff. That's okay. He gained some, looked like he gained some hit points. Not liking that. Okay. Anyway, so let's fast forward, right? To today. Sebastian, I'm gonna butcher his name, huh? Deterding? Deterding? Yeah, Deterding. Anyway, a German researcher born in 1978 cracks the code in 2011. So he's doing his research in 2011. Here we go. I thought that was gonna miss there. All right. Gotta take a quick. So he's saying his paper from game design elements to gamefulness defines gamification, tossing game bits, points, badges, challenges into non-game stuff. It's not new. It's ancient play with a twist. 2023 Frontiers in Psychology meta-analysis drops another gem. Gamified learning boosts outcomes with a 0.82 effect size, which is huge. It's like, let's get double espresso for your brain. Why? Well, it's wired into us. Games trigger engagement, not snooze fests, right? We're engaged when we're playing a game. Even when we're trying to talk about education, these games provide the focus to learn, right? I don't know how many games I played when I was younger that I literally learned from. So I was glad or grateful to developers to provide gems of truth within the games. Let's see. These are pretty far shots for this game. If you can master the far shots, combat's a lot different, especially PvP. I think there's anything over here, so let's start going this way. Okay. So Gabe Zichermann, a gamification guru in 1974, born in 1974, takes it further. Gamification, if in gamification by design, in 2011. He ties it to dopamine, motivation's chemical kick, right? Anything involved with dopamine, it's for lack of a better neuroscience background, it's basically the pleasure, right? The pleasure chemical. Ooh, this is good. I'm going to do it again. Dopamine, right? So he says, win a point, feel the rush. Your dopamine 20% over written word, right? Learning feels good. Deterding's 2024 TEDx talk adds that 55% of learners stick with gamified tools longer. It's an addiction. But the smart man, it's not hype, it's science. The ancient play meets the modern proof. Let's see what direction this guy comes. They never come directly at you. It's the weirdest part. Oh, he's gonna get stuck in there, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to pull the bow back as far as it'll go to get that 23. And honestly, I'm trying to figure out if I don't hear the sound of the bow, is that the true all the way back pull? So I'm kind of trying to learn. I'm feeling it out, right? Pretty cool, right? I mean, you know, I'm showing you in actual real time what's going on. All right, let's see. I'm trying not to fall off the cliff while looking at my notes at the same time. There's 2 deer down here after the mists that I want to get to. There's one. This is a really long shot. I didn't think so. Really? That's one thing I'm hoping they can get into this game a little bit better is bow distances. Ah, man. I didn't think he'd see me. That kind of sucked. Got one on me. Really? I don't need a full bow for these animals, by the way. I don't know why I'm doing it, but why not? There it is. Yeah, I don't know how I got them either. That's alright though. I got the 2. And that's the important part. part. All right, so where were we? So Yukai Chou, born in 1986 in Taiwan, he took it up a notch. Octalysis framework in 2015. 8 drives that make your games tick. So first is mastery, then social influence, epic meaning, and there's more, right? Picture Duolingo. You earn points for mastery. You climb leaderboards. That's your social aspect of the game, right? And then you save a cartoon owl. And that's a meaning, I guess. I've used Duolingo before, but I've never actually used Duolingo. So maybe I'll go try it. And there's a couple languages I do want to learn. Excuse me. All right. So Chou's book, Actionable Gamification, breaks it. Layer these drives, and engagement will soar. In 2022, Educational Technology Research Study tested Octalysis apps. 35% have a higher stick-to-itness than plain ones. So I did try Duolingo, Spanish vocab, and a lot of it stuck as I was doing it, but honestly, I didn't stick with it. And that was partially my fault, partially motivation, partially, just real world stuff going on. Right? So there is a limit to the gamification or the what do we call it? The drives, right? There's always going to be some type of limitation. Nothing's foolproof. However, given the right person and personality, we can derive a useful path for learning, right? Again, these are not one size fits all stuff. I waited too long. No. I guess he was closer. I test out stuff, and I just realized I don't have an axe to actually arrows with. So once I'm out of arrows, I'm out of arrows, which could be a bad thing. Well, not a bad thing. Just one without. Because hunting without arrows is not a great. I mean, you can do it, but it's not as. I mean, hunting with a sword. Can be one there it is. See, with the arrows, you have this, and I can get 60 and then set up for the attack. And then it's that much better of a battle because my shield doesn't take as much calculate, right? So I'm doing all these things in my head to make sure or ensure that I have a proper game. Okay, so where were we? All right. In a 2023 journal of, I know I'm going through all these studies. Stick with me here. Stick with me, because all of these are proofs that we don't need today's education system. In 2023, in the Journal of Behavioral Science, it dug deeper. Mastery alone lifts retention 25%. Add the social, it jumps to 40%. Chou's at GDC 2024 saying, quote, games don't teach, they pull you in. It's not random, it's a system. Plato's chariot races with a digital dashboard. And I think most of us would agree that these are the things we would actually say a lot to, right? We can relate to this. Games that have a high learning curve, if they don't draw you in, you're not gonna stick with them, right? Mostly because you don't want it's too much effort, right? Wow. Okay. Really? I didn't block anything here. Not happy with that. That's alright. I had the block button down, but I guess it didn't register in their server. I gotta stop wasting arrows. Or I should have brought an axe so I can make the arrows. Either way. I can still make arrows, I just gotta pick up branches. It's more tedious, that's all. Much more tedious. Alright. So let's really go hard into the data. In 2019, the Duolingo study, 34 hours equals a college semester. Language sticks when it's a game. So if you use Duolingo for 34 hours, that's an entire college semester. That is pretty good stuff, right? And I also practice my weapons. How often I can pull them out fast. How I can transition from one to another. There we go. I thought I got him. I was like, what the hell, man? All right, so let's dig deeper into these stats, right? I didn't move. I'll take it. I'll take that. Okay. So in 2021, there was a Classcraft pilot. 28% better behavior scores. Kids quest instead of sulking. Deloitte's VR training, a 2020 study, a 2020 training magazine report says it cuts onboarding by 20%. Newer employees learn fast when it's immersive. In 2023, the EdPsych meta-analysis said gamified learning ups outcomes 0.75 effect size, near Deterding's 0.82 across ages, right? Brain Science seals it. A 2021 Nature neuroscience study, gamified tasks boost prefrontal activity by 15%, which focuses sharpness, right? Let's see if I can get this guy. You would think, but it doesn't look like I can get him. Really? Here we go. Shouldn't have taken that many shots, but that was my fault. Gotta keep on my food. Yeah, I'm close to those. Those guys hurt. In this armor especially. Let's make sure I don't... I'll take the good stuff, right? really? Where'd he go? I mean, he should be right around here. There he is. I can't believe I got him. All right, let's move on. All right, so I'm throwing a lot of statistics at you. Why am I doing that? Because I want to convince you that this gamification, this natural learning, this way of naturally learning is, and everybody should be taking this apart. Right? This is 180 from what we're doing at schools, institutions, both in college and high school, middle school, and primary schools. In 2024, a UNEC or ESCO education trends report said 60% of teachers say gamification cuts boredom and kids stay engaged. Even workplaces nod to this. Forbes in 2023, 45% of the firms who used gamified training have a 30% higher retention. It's not a gimmick, guys. This is entirely a shift in perspective. Play drives learning. End of story. So you have we here's some examples, right? Some down, let's bring it into life. Some examples. We did a Duolingo example. 34 hours college level Spanish per the 2019 data. Try it. It says 70% of the users finish the courses. Games keep you grinding. Do I see something on that? I thought I saw something. No, I guess I didn't. Okay. How about Classcraft? Teachers turn classes into quests. So I heard of one of the teachers in the 5th grade built a history kingdom. Behavior jumped 25% in the pilot. And kids begged to. Oh, yeah, you made it fun. You made it like a game. Why wouldn't? All right, let's turn into Deloitte. Deloitte had the VR systems, right? New hires that are pitching in sales virtual rooms. And they said 20% faster on. In the shop floor, there's shop floor gaming, right? If you're a factory supervisor, you can gamify safety drills, points for spotting hazards. Injuries dropped 15% in 2023 from a log that was kept. And we don't know what kind of safety they were into, but factory safety is important. But if you gamify it, and there was certain incentives as well that could have been used that also, I don't know if they would go so far as to say it's gamified, but these incentives, like, we'll give you $10 here, $10 there, for this. Oh, he didn't run. I'll take it. I thought he was gonna run. They usually run when they see the other one dying. That's a good AI. Because, that... I was way off. He's coming right back here. There we go. I think I see anybody around me. I'm getting close to a couple different beasts, meaning bears mostly. I'm gonna make sure I don't run into them. They hurt. Now they hurt. I can't avoid them like I used to. Even when I was in combat with them, I didn't get hit unless I was being aggressively stupid. Or wasn't paying attention. There we go. Yeah, bows in combat, actually, I think a force modifier for sure. I'm trying to think of what I can drop right now. Because I don't need to carry all this crap. Anything with no dots is getting dropped. I don't need movements either. I should have worked on, I'll take suet. You know what? I'll take the suet. I use it for baking. I know, it sounds like such a, Anyway. Alright, here's a playbook. At home, add points to chores. Like, say, 10 points for dishes, 20 points for laundry. Track it. Maybe winning the competition will bring that, those chores to a timely end. In class, teachers can, use badges. Something like you award math night for fractions, or like KNIEGHT, math night. Set quests, like hit sales, earn a star. No. A lot of people are like, why would I care about a star? Well, instead of a star, if you're hitting sales, you're building on it, right? So we're building on the gamification, and everybody has to agree to the game, but you just can't say, oh, we're playing a game today, and if people want to play, they will play. But if they don't want to play, then it's pretty much, you're done. You can't gamify something. For example, we all choose to play PAX Day. We all choose to play WoW or EVE Online. If you don't choose to play, these reward systems, these gamifications don't work, right? So we gotta want to play the game. Or draft or create the game. I've been really remiss. There's like a ton of these branches all around. I didn't even notice the old boar. But I would be remiss if I didn't say that, right? But keep it simple. You want to reward the effort, not just the wins, right? And that's important as well. Because some people are like, I know. And that's okay too. As leaders, we need to find motivation for everybody, not just a few people, right? And that's okay. Is like I said, this is a technique. It's a tool in the toolbox. It's not the prescription to cure all. It's not a cure all. However, we're in this gamification area of the lecture, so let me continue. Plato's games, Confucius joy, Gurukul's drills, saying that learning's alive when it's fun. Science proves it. We have dopamine, we have focus, we have retention. It's brain candy, and it works. The U.S. system's stuck on tests. This flips education that pulls you in, right? In 2024, the WEF reported 50% of the skills need play-based training and your future proof. UNESCO says it cuts disengagement by 20%. Kids, workers, you name it. It's an ancient philosophy with a digital pulse. Learning that hooks, sticks, and thrives. Let's tackle the trades next, because hands-on is where it's really gonna, the rubber hits the road, right? So I want to shine a big, bright spotlight on trade and vocational education, the unsung hero of learning that keeps society standing, literally and figuratively. This isn't about ivory towers or fancy degrees. It's about hands-on practical skills that build homes, fix engines, and wire the world. We're blending ancient guild wisdom with modern stats. And yeah, we're bringing Mike Rowe, the dirt under the nails champ of the trades, to see what this matters. This is going to be gritty into history. We're going to do some research. We're going to provide some stories. And of course, apply that to the real world of 2025. As we actually are doing one of the trades that was made famous, hunting, right? Hunters kept the village fed with meat. Without them, there would be no meat. And rabbits, you ever heard of rabbit starvation? Yeah, it's because rabbits aren't, you know, they're very lean. I never eaten a rabbit, I don't think. No, I did in China. I was in China and I ate a rabbit. I don't know about a rabbit, maybe some, because it's not a lot of, doesn't fill you up. That's a bear. We're not going after a bear today. I was trying to be Mr. Gurukul there. That was my shield doing, by the way. Ooh, what's that one? Yeah, that bear is going to be way too tough for me. I gotta figure out a way to do that. Okay, let's look at medieval Europe in the 1200s, where guilds were the heartbeat of the skilled workers. Let's go. Let's picture a bustling town with smiths, weavers, and masons, all training the next generation. A kid, maybe 13, steps into a forge, the air thick with coal smoke. He's an apprentice, shadowing a master who's been hammering iron for decades. For 7 years, sometimes 10, he watches, he swings, he sweats, learning every trick. How to temper steel, shape a blade, fix a plow. Guilds made it official, apprentice to journeyman to master. A ladder built on grit. A 2021 medieval history journal pegs it. 80% of urban workers in the 1400s came through guilds, hands-on, personal, and practical. Zoom to ancient India's Gurukul system. Really? Let's get this one. Oh, this one. I was in this blind spot. That does matter in this game, but hunting only needs 3 actions. Nighttime. I hear them. bear behind me. I shouldn't encounter him. There used to be a wolf over here. Used to be. Maybe turn him into a boar. And I need to eat. Always important to eat that. Okay. So we're zooming to India's Gurukul system. Students lived with gurus, mastering carpentry or metallurgy alongside ethics. They did remember the round person, right? We're gonna take a one person, make them rounded. That was the Gurukul system. A guru just didn't teach. He knew your hammer swing, your chisel grip, and he pushed you to modify it and nail it, right? In China, Confucian craftsmen around 500 passed down pottery and woodwork. Mentors tweaking lessons per pupil. Fast forward to the 1800s in America. We have vocational schools that sprouted up during the Industrial Revolution, right? In 1862, for instance, the Morrill Act birthed land grant colleges. Think blacksmithing at Kansas State, training farmers and mechanics for a booming nation. In 2019, History Today, a History Today piece, says 60% of the 19th century tradesmen learned this way. A master knew you, and you became the craft. Really? Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. Doesn't tell me. Hopefully I'm not too close to these other ones. I have two ways I can get here. One goes to the stones. Man, this should give me favors. Let's go that way. There we go. And what was I doing here? Oh, Q. Q gives me the command to continue to run without having to hit the W key. All right. Anyway, now let's look at Germany. You've got this dialed in with their dual system. So they do school plus apprenticeships. Picture a 17-year-old in Munich. In the mornings, they do classes, learning welding theory. In afternoons, they're in a shop melting metal, actually welding, right? In 2022, the OECD report lays it out. 50% of German youth take this path. 2022. 3% unemployment versus US's 6% in 2023, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They graduate with a tight, effective, real half classroom, half toolbox. Contrast that with Switzerland. 80% of the kids go to vocational. And let's see, per the 2023 economics piece, fueling a 2.5% unemployment. Now, Japan's got a twist. Technical high schools churn out machinists. Toyota hires them straight from high school. In 2021, the World Economic Forum study says these systems cut youth joblessness by 20%. Theory meets practice. There's no fluff here. It's guild vibes with a modern spin. Learn it, do it, own it. Right? Let me see if I'm going to be following the road here. Nope, let's go that way. Let's go that way. Let me see something for. I wanted to check my arrows. You know what? I might as well craft some arrows while I'm here. There we go. All right. So let's come back to the U.S. Trade education's alive. Community colleges and apprenticeships are the backbone. The Bureau of Labor Statistics forecasts 500,000 trade jobs open in 2026. Electricians, plumbers, coders, mechanics. And the pay is no joke. Welders hit 60K median, according to BLS 2023. And I know there's that's going to be a little bit higher depending on the industry, right? So average 60 grand. HVAC technicians are at 58. Carpenters are at 55. And look, you make 100K of student. There's no 100K student debt, so you have no debt when you do these. It's just steady work. A 2024 Forbes report adds, trade wages grew 7% since 2020. Ooh. Oh, that's a bear. Okay. Go around the bear. Normally, I would kill the bear. But the bears have gotten, like, so much tougher. Kind of going into a 3-skull territory. Or am I? Going to go home, Belly? Home, Belly? Well, I am, because that's... Oh, so... I don't have to worry too much here. It's up at 14. Really? Oh, I forgot I'm on the border. Border fights are not good for you. Because, look at my hit points. There, do that. What I'm really looking for is... I'm in ULAD. ULAD. We call it ULAD. 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 I like ULAD. ULAD. I don't know. Whatever. So, no student debt. And then Forbes in 2024 adds that, give me a second, it's somebody's house. Thought it was a, a lot of people around here. Yeah. I haven't visited in a while. Let's get off the beaten path. I want to find boars. Let's jump. Nope. That didn't work. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Community colleges. Did I mention trade wages grew 7% since 2020? If not, if I did, there's a second take, which is a lot faster than many white-collar jobs, by the way. Community colleges crank out about 1.5 million certificates yearly. That's by the NCES in 2023. Welding. Think welding at Tulsa Community or Diesel Tech at Wyoming's Laramie County. Apprenticeships. They're growing. You have 500,000 active in 2023, according to the Department of Labor, up from 12% from 2019. Programs like the National Apprenticeship Act in 2021, which pumped $1 billion into these training. Electricians train 4 years while they learn. It's not flashy. It's foundational. Pipes don't fix themselves, right? And wires don't fit themselves. There's a lot of people in here. I didn't realize. That's a lot of people. All right. Anyway. So I had to stick Mike Rowe in here because I think he's great. I think he makes a lot of sense. He was born in 1962, and he was part of the blue collar families, right? He did dirty jobs from 2005 to 2012, and basically put trades on TV, right? Like plumbers knee deep in mud, welders sparking steel. Mike Rowe Works Foundation launched in 2008, and he has put out $7 million in scholarships by 2024, training welders, carpenters, you name it. His mantra: work smart and hard. In 2023, there was a Fox News interview, and he said, "We've got 3 million open jobs in the trades that don't need a 4-year degree. So stop telling kids college is the only path." And I'm going to say the same thing. I will definitely be that person, right? So in 2024, Rowe had a podcast, or I think he still does. The Way I Heard It is the podcast, by the way. So if you haven't subscribed, I would definitely consider it. He said a plumber with 5 years experience can now earn a sociology grad and sleep better. The BLS, or Bureau of Labor Statistics, backs him on this. Construction jobs grew 5% in 2023. College grads, well, they're underemployment, hit 34%, and that was the New York Fed in 2024. He's not wrong. Trades are personal, practical, and they are punching up. Remember, most of your local people as well, your local tradesmen, if you will, they create jobs as well. That you can move into creating your own business, working your own hours, being your own boss very quickly, and outpacing college grads by a lot, because you just created an attractive business. If you have any intention of growing it, then maybe you learn, right? Like, and we've been talking about learning. How do you learn? Well, maybe you learn online. You don't have to go to college to learn business management. Just a side note. So the numbers hammer it home again. In 2021, a Gallup study, trade grads report 75% job satisfaction, higher than many bachelor's holders, which they said 68%. Well, why? Well, one is purpose. Fix a furnace, see the heat kick on. In 2023, the Journal of Labor Economics study, vocational grads earn 10% more by the age of 30 than non-college peers. There's less debt, and there's a faster start. Economically, trades stabilize. BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, said in 2024, 60% of the infrastructure of jobs resist automation. AI can't rewire a house. Where are they wrong? And yes, we can get into the eventual conversation about androids and robots that have AI assistants. So there is that. In 2022, an Ed Trust report, community college trades cut unemployment 15% in rural areas. Jobs stay local. UNESCO's 2024 Oh, sorry. I lost my, I'm walking around, lost my way. So vocational training boosts GDP by 2% per capita. Pipes and wires fuel growth. Even psychology chimes in a 2021 work and stress study. Hands-on workers report 20% less burnout. Tangible wins beat the desk grind. And where are we on time? Oh, we're only an hour in. Good. So if there are any questions or comments or anything to that effect, I invite you to go ahead and reach out. All right, let's so how do we do this? Well, here's a blueprint. Kids explore, visit a shop, swing a hammer, shadow somebody like a plumber. At 16, schools can push trades, add shop classes. In 2023, EdUtopia pilot saw 30% more engagement. Employers apprentice up. I just realized where I was in. They apprentice up, right? The DOL, Department of Labor, says $1 invested returns $1.50. So that's a good input-output, right? What about welding? Well, if you burn some steel, you learn fast. Adults at community college at $5K for a certificate. Yeah, that. I don't need to over exaggerate these fights in the home. Am I getting any wool from these? I don't know. It doesn't matter. All right, anyway. So if you're paying $5K for a certificate, it beats $50K for a bachelor's, right? And Mike Rowe's site lists programs to dive in. So basically, pick a trade: plumbing, coding, watch YouTube, try it, find a mentor. In 2024, a career builder survey said 55% of the bosses prioritize skills. They say show it, don't say it. It's guild smarts with a 2025 twist. Build something real. Trade education's ancient guilds, like the Gurukuls, meet the modern muscle stats, like Mike Rowe, right? What he's saying. It's personal. If you look at Jake Shops or Sarah Wells, right? It's practical. Fix a pipe, power a city. It's future, right? BLS 2024. 70% of trade jobs dodge AI. The U.S. system obsesses over tests. Trades build society, literally. And trades don't, well, they have tests, but they're practical tests, right? How good is your weld? What do you think of your weld? Can you grade your weld? The welders go through an intensive process, if you think about it. One second, get this back in my own my thinking lag. Yeah, there's nothing really there for me. We'll just go back. Okay. Let's see. In the US system, and we obsess over tests. Trades build infrastructure that are all hands-on. We need welders as much as PhDs. And 2023, the WEF said 50% of the jobs need vocational skills. Yeah, that took a while. Okay. So I think Micro is right, honestly. It's work that work and it works, right? Let's govern this, because who's steering that? It should be governed. Let's take a libertarian, right? So who runs education? It's a multi-million-dollar question, because who holds the reins decides what you learn, how you learn, and whether it works. We're pitting centralized systems, top-down, one-size-fits-all, against decentralized setups, with local flair and teacher freedom, to see what's what. We'll pull from ancient wisdom, modern stats, and some real-world grit to figure this out. This one, you're gonna need a notepad. It's going deep. It's gonna be a twisty ride through history, research, and stories. And I'll provide some straight up ideas for 2025 and 2026. If we have time. I've been looking at the time here. I think we're okay. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this for tomorrow, because what I want to do is I'll be finishing this lecture up, and I want a podcast. I want to be able to podcast it knowing that my mic is actually working well. But anyway, the other thing is I'd like to figure out a little bit more about how we can approach this topic, because I wrote notes and I'm prepared to say it. However, I think education is so important. I don't believe. Well, let's dive into the statistics. And let's find out together. And let's come up with something that everybody can live with, right? Because I think we can bring this. Honestly, I don't think government needs to be involved in this. It doesn't seem right to me that they're even involved. One, it's your kid. Waiting. One, it's your kid. Two, who's to say what's right, what's wrong, and how people learn? I mean, that's why I mentioned let's localize it. Where the heck did he go? Did I get him? I don't see him. Pretty weird. Okay. I don't know that. We can run back from here. I usually take the upper level, but I'll take so. I don't know if I can live that close to those things. I mean, that's right there. Not that I can't take them, but definitely interesting. I think most of this is runnable. Wow, he's improved. I love the fact that you can have the water next to your plot. Anyway, we'll get back into this and pretty much finish it up in the education field. I really truly believe that not only are the trades important. What I'm trying to evolve is, I'm not saying, and one path is trades, the other is elastics, right? Let's see if you can do this while you're swimming. You can. I knew people who lived here. Not a great place to live, by the way. They really did something to this area, though. It was pretty impressive. Not a great place to put down roots, honestly, but each his own. Trying to sprint through here. There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll stop here, and then tomorrow night we'll. I forgot about this guy. He cut off the path I usually take. So now I have to go through and in the mud. But I can fit, so. Impressive structures. Annoying placement. For me. I get that. I get that. It's a me thing. It's not a him thing. Thing. Yeah, we'll start there. Let me do this. Oop, no. There we go. We'll highlight it in the form in my notes. There we go. And then what we'll do is we'll have another episode tomorrow. 4 episodes on education. This is crazy. This is awesome, though. This is where what I mean by coming to this channel and learning and evolving and finding out information with me, right? Because ultimately, I always need 3 of these for the arrows. That's alright. I'm at home in the morning. We evolve. We think. Therefore we are, right? And if we don't ask the questions, and we don't sit there and say, you know what? This industrial revolution system doesn't work in the modern age. Is that controversial? I don't know. Maybe to some. Maybe teachers' unions. But they don't have to be on edge. That's the thing. Teachers' unions can adapt just like everybody else. And say as a matter of fact, I would assume that teachers' unions could actually turn more of a profit, because perhaps you have the trades come into the union and say, hey, we have these union members that are certified by us. And if you hire a union person, yes, they're more expensive, but they have the expertise you're looking for. They'll be able to teach the pods of kids. We don't know. But I think you get my way of thinking. It's why do we relegate, right? Why do we relegate to the ultimate to say no, nothing can be done, nothing should be done. Let's keep it status quo. There's certain things that you have to look at and you say, okay, let's stop the status quo. Tomorrow night, we will work on it. We will actually craft the models, right? And go into the ancient models. How did they control education? Greece, in Egypt, in China, in India, in the United States. How do they control it? And they, meaning society, because as society, we see the value of education for everybody, but more education for the generation that will take our places when we get older. Or we should see the value in it. Well, with that said, let's call it here. I've talked enough. I've spoken enough. I'd like to hear your voice as well. So like, share, subscribe, comment in the comments section. Go to LinkedIn or X, or and more than likely the comment section and X. I'll be able to see your posts faster than LinkedIn. But I do have a lot of articles on leadership in LinkedIn as well. So with all that said, please like, share, subscribe. Keep learning, everyone. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night. Have a good day, no matter where in the world you are. And we'll talk soon.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild, in the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil, I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.